Hi. This is a variation of chess that I've been working on called Chuess. It's a play on the word guess in chess. In it, both players play with the familiar rules of chess, except for the fact that you can no longer see your opponent's last move. In addition, each player begins with 5 opportunities to look at the current board state. So without further ado, let's start. I'm going to claim white and assign the AI to the black side. I'm going to just kind of edge the difficulty up a bit. For context, the difficulty represents a percentage between 0 and 100, and that percentage is the probability that the AI opponent, will utilize one of these peaks. Traditionally, when playing against another player, they will use a peak whenever they feel it is advantageous to, with the limitation of only having 5. So let me make a move, e4. When the screen is turquoise, that represents it being my turn. So the first thing you might notice is that it's my turn, even though we don't see what black's response is, and that's sort of the essence of this game. Also, for the sake of demonstration, I will use a peek, even if it might not be optimal. And we see that the opponent responded with knight to f6. That will decrement my peek count from 5 to 4. Alright, so another thing to note is after the first move, you no longer move pieces directly. Because you cannot trust the board state as you see it, a move that might be legal now is not actually legal depending on where the opponent's last move was. So, for example, if you are in check, you must get out of check if possible. As such, the way this works is you queue up to 3 pre-moves. So let's just show what that looks like. It's not exactly a move, but the idea being that the program will analyze the pre-moves in the order that you made them, and the first valid move will be the one that's made. So in this case, since I used a peek, I know that this is the board state that I have to follow, and I will just push up this pawn. And then once I've made my pre-move, I click on this button. The computer has responded. Now, when playing against a player, I have to consider the fact that they don't know that I pushed up this pawn, but I do know that they saw my move as soon as they moved their knight. Let's assume that the optimal move was for me to push my pawn up, that they knew that. They will operate under the assumption that I did, or a combination of that assumption and just a general risk aversion strategy where they just want to make the move that is the safest, I guess. So, with that word salad out of the way, I will assume that they've moved their knight to e5. And I will just push up and grab the center. Alright, so I guessed right. That won't happen very often in this video. Alright. Alright, so they've made a move. To demonstrate one strategy with pawns in particular, and this is also to illustrate why you only have 3 pre-moves. It's in theory, if you had unlimited pre-moves, it would be optimal to just to do that for every pawn. To queue up a capture, since they can only capture if a piece is available. So why not do that for free? It also gives you a little bit too much information, but. That said, I'm going to make 2 pre-moves to assume 1, they did not capture, 2, that they did capture, and then 3, well, actually, one of those moves is valid. Both of them cannot be invalid at the same time. So, alright, I captured, he's pinning my knight, and now I should actually say he pinned my knight. He has made a move since. Well, if he captured my knight, if you capture my knight, I still think I'm going to capture that pawn and do a queen trade. If you captured that pawn, or somehow move, or for some reason move that pawn up, and just break the pin. Alright, so yeah, he captured the pawn. Alright, well, in case he ever captures, I'll pre-move there. And we'll also notice that the pre-moves are saved in case they apply to the subsequent turn. So in this case, I want to recapture that knight at any point if he gets captured. Otherwise, I will continue moving. I don't see any other obvious threats, so I think he anticipated that. Okay. Okay, now I have to worry. So he could have captured, and I keep saying he, could have captured the pawn on c4, or it could have pushed and threatened my knight. I think I'm going to do that. If they capture, that's not a valid move, then I'm worried about the pawn push, so I will, that seems good. Right. Alright, so if the bishop captures my knight, I think it's still safe for me to start with check here. You can move it back, but I have e4 double covered. And I don't think there's anything that he can do to stop the rook move. He can't put me in check. Well, you know what? I guess I would regret it if he captured the knight there. I'd want to capture this way. Otherwise, do that. Okay. Well, I don't actually have him in check. He had moved his bishop in advance. He's still making its next move. Alright. Yeah, well, I guess I ended the video.